everybody, we are back in my car and the sun is being a little funky again. I also have my dog. But I just feel like the Lord wanted me to hop on here and just share a little bit about the message they spoke about at church today, which I feel like was so good. They talked about David in the Bible, who is famously known as the man after God's own heart. And David was anointed as king. He lived in the palace, but at one point he was supposed to be on the war field in battle, and he decided to stay back at his house, back at his palace, and disobey where he was supposed to be. And there's so much protection and covering when we are where the Lord has us and has ordained for us to be. And because David was in the wrong place, he saw one of his neighbors, a woman who was married, laying outside, and he went and had an affair with her. And then 3 months later, she writes him a note saying that she's pregnant. Because of this, David was trying to cover up his tracks, and so he went through a couple different ways that he was going to take care of this lady's husband. And then ultimately, when it failed, he had her husband killed on the battlefield, since he didn't want this man to find out that the baby was not his. And after this, this upset the Lord. The Lord sent a prophet to David and told him a very similar story to what David had done. And David got upset and he was like, let's kill this man. And the prophet said, David, this story is about you. And because David had become complacent in his heart, he couldn't tell how far his heart had led him away from the Lord and how much sin he had committed, and disconnected himself from that intimacy and favor with God, even though he was still loved, of course. And so this was a wake-up call to David, and we do the same thing. We become lukewarm in our faith walk. We have been through a lot. We've persevered and endured, and the longevity of our faith walk is really getting to us, where we get to a place where we stop, giving into that hunger for the Lord, where we dim the fire within us, where it kind of grows cold. This is a dangerous spot for us to be. God continually tells us not to grow lukewarm and not to just go with the flow and become the temperature around us, but to stay lit on fire, to stay in first love with Him, and He is our first love. And so this is such a good reminder that we can become dull to our own convictions because of the time we've spent with the Lord. And so, Father, I thank you for this word. God, I pray that you would fan the flame within us, that you would reignite us for you, God, that you would give us a fresh first love encounter, God, that you would light us up for your glory, your goodness, and because you love us, Jesus. Amen.